Hey, have you ever watched someone try really hard to be cool or popular, but it just feels fake, like they're putting on an act instead of being their true selves? It's kind of cringy, right? On the other hand, don't you respect people who stay real and genuine, even when all eyes are on them? There's something admirable about those who aren't afraid to show their authentic selves to the world. In our modern times, we're all kind of amateur self-marketers in a way. With social media and our online presence, we're constantly putting ourselves out there, whether we realize it or not. The question is, are we presenting an honest, ethical version of ourselves? Or are we falling into the trap of fakeness? The ancient Stoic philosophers had remarkable insights about cultivating our personal brands in a way that's true, trustworthy, and actually makes a positive impact. By following their 5 steps for authentic self-marketing, we can proudly share our real selves with confidence and integrity. Are you ready to amplify the awesome, ethical essence of who you are? Let's dive in and learn how to be shining beacons of benevolence in the way we present ourselves to the world. Tip number 1. Be true to yourself in all public expressions. The number 1 rule of Stoic self-branding is keeping it real. The philosophers taught that pretending to be someone or something you're not is not only unethical, but totally exhausting. Think about it. Having to keep up an act all the time would be so draining. True authenticity means not being afraid to let your unique personality, quirks, values, and all shine through proudly. Don't censor or downplay parts of yourself just because you think it's what people want to see. For example, if your brand is all about being an adventurous, outdoorsy nature lover, don't plaster your socials with photos of you sitting inside playing video games. Give an honest window into your actual interests and lifestyle. That realness instantly makes you more trustworthy and magnetic. But being authentic isn't just about sharing your true passions. It's avoiding flat-out misleading lies or embellishments too. Let's say you decide to write a blog about your latest camping trip adventures. The Stoics would urge you to recount exactly what happened, no exaggerations about wrestling bears or highly dramatized survival tales. Deception of any kind undermines your credibility. Tip number 2. Ensure your brand aligns with your core principles. Authentic self-branding isn't just about opening up and sharing. It's about upholding your ethics and moral code too. The Stoics were big on ensuring your outward-facing persona is 100% in sync with your innermost values and beliefs. Let's say one of your core principles is protecting the environment and you're an advocate for eco-friendly living. Then everything you put out there, from your website to social posts to the products you promote, needs to somehow reinforce that consistent conservation message. It would be pretty hypocritical to be snapping selfies surrounded by disposable plastics or repping brands that harm nature. Right. Make sure your words, visuals, and endorsements are a pure reflection of what ideals you truly stand for. Carrying this ethos to the extreme, the most virtuous Stoics might argue you should actually avoid promoting material goods or services that aren't 100% necessary for human well-being. After all, mindless consumerism often clashes with simplicity and environmental stewardship. Tip number 3. Act with integrity to build trust. In our hyper-connected world, our personal brands and reputations are always on display. The Stoics understood that acting with virtue and integrity in how you express yourself is the key to winning people's trust. If you slip up and do something contradictory or unsavory, that gets blasted all over the internet. Your entire self-brand could take a huge hit. But if people see you as someone of remarkable character who owns up to mistakes with accountability, you can recover. Let's imagine you made an insensitive joke on social media that got ratioed by thousands calling you out. The easy path would be doubling down or deleting, ignoring it. But a Stoic would face the consequences head-on, issue a sincere apology taking full responsibility, have open conversations to understand why it was harmful, and commit to doing better through education. Ultimately, your goal should be crafting a brand narrative around your ethical decision-making and commitment to truthfulness. Sure, you're a human being who will err from time to time, but bouncing back with integrity keeps your reputation solid. Tip number 4. Focus on enduring impact rather than short-term gains. It can be so tempting, especially on social media, to chase trends and do whatever gets attention or follows in that moment. But the Stoics would urge us to take a bigger picture view in how we shape our personal brands. Do you want to be someone who makes a meaningful, lasting impact through your values and actions? Or will you be a forgettable flash of hollow hype that gets lost in the ever-churning content cycle? For example, let's say the latest dance craze is taking over and everyone's hopping on that viral trend for likes and views. A Stoic personal branding approach would be to avoid cheapening your image by thirstily chasing that fleeting moment. Unless sharing yourself genuinely dancing brings you joy and aligns with your principles, don't be a clout chaser. Make branding choices that aren't just about instant ego boosts, but rather amplifying the positive change you want to make in the world over your lifetime. It's the difference between seeking fickle fame versus cultivating an enduring legacy of virtue. Tip number 5. Position your brand as a contributor to the greater good. The ultimate aim of ethical self-branding isn't selfish attention-seeking, but becoming a source of service and value for others. The Stoics firmly believed in using our voices and platforms to elevate humanity and ease suffering where possible. So, rather than shouting into the void about trivial drama or vanity, reframe your personal brand around how you can truly enrich people's lives through education, inspiration, or accessible expertise. Share talents, skills, and knowledge that helps your community in tangible ways. You could create online writing workshops for aspiring student authors, for instance, or provide free workout videos for families looking to get fit together. Maybe you're a whiz at coding and can offer free lessons bridging the tech literacy gap. Any way you can shine a light and leverage your reach for a benevolent purpose is optimal Stoic self-branding. Of course, this civic-minded approach doesn't mean you can never earn income off your personal brand. The Stoics would simply advise ensuring your money-making efforts create value for society too, not just empty profits. Writing self-help books or creating ethical product lines could be acceptable avenues. Conclusion. Well, there you have it, friends. The ancient Stoics' time-tested recipe for shaping our personal brands with authenticity, integrity, and service to others. By being our honest, ethical selves through self-expression, keeping our values aligned, maintaining reputations of good character, thinking long-term impact over shallow hype, and channeling our talents to uplift others, we can be true beacons of benevolence in how we put ourselves out there. Just imagine how refreshing it would be to scroll through a social media feed of people showcasing their real interests and talents, making positive change, taking accountability when mistakes happen, and focusing on substance over superficial likes and follows. That's precisely the Stoics' vision for our self-branding potential. Of course, it's not always easy to swim against the tide of influencer culture and virality chasing. There will be stumbling blocks, self-doubts, and moments of temptation to loosen our ethics. Our own human flaws and inconsistencies could undermine our authentic brands. Outside forces will constantly try luring us into chasing empty clout over virtue. But if we keep coming back to those anchoring Stoic principles, we can stay the course. By reflecting regularly on our core values, analyzing whether our public expressions truly represent those beliefs, and course-correcting with humility when we stumble, our ethical self-brands can remain resilient. The best part, not only do we get to feel proud of how we're representing our authentic selves to the world, but we become inspiring examples of character and service for others to emulate too. Our benevolent self-brands become like a warmly glowing lighthouse cutting through the dense fog of fakery and crassness online. So, are you ready to level up your personal brand with some Stoic integrity? It starts with that first step, having the courage and commitment to simply be yourselves, flaws and all. Let your uniqueness. If you find this video helpful, consider subscribing, liking this channel, and sharing it with the people you care about. See you on the next video.